All right, so I'm going to make a little shape here. I hardly ever use this tool, so hopefully I remember. And I'm just going to make, I don't know. So we talked about this align tool up here, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Now you can also go right here. Where is it? So you have distribute spacing. So here's my horizontal. So if I click that, it'll automatically space everything evenly. Does that make sense? Now you can also go. Oops. And this is kind of weird, but it'll make sense in a minute. I can also go right here. There's a little, whatever you call it right here, type space, right? So what it's saying here is when I do this, it's going, see it? It's going to specify spacing value, choose a key object. So I'm just going to choose, I don't think it even matters. I'm going to choose that one. I'm going to put, let's put an inch. Oops. That's weird. It's not doing it. Hang on. There it goes. And it'll, what it's asking you is I don't even know why it does this, but it goes choose a key object for us to match off of, right? And I don't even think it matters, like in this case, which one you're picking, okay? And it has a vertical, which is this version, right? Which is just the vertical version, right? And then it has a horizontal version, right? Just know that when you go, okay, I'm going to type in a coordinate and I got all these selected, I got to go, boom, there's my key, whatever. My key object, I think they call it. Oops. And then it'll just base it off that, which is kind of weird because it's still going to space them all evenly. Does that make sense? And then I want to talk about this really quick. And I'm going to give you this set, but next week I want to talk a little more about, that's a new word I made up, by the way. Yeah. It means to be at peace. To walk with nature. Yeah.
How do you pronounce that?
Bila. All right, so let's go here to right here to graph. Okay, so remember we did symbols. This to me falls in the same sort of category. And we have graphic styles. Okay, now this already has some in here, but I'm going to show. Okay, this is just sort of like our brushes. Okay, I would go fly out menu. Okay, so up here, these are your standard graphic styles. Okay. There's that one. There's that one. These are all kind of useless. There's that one. There's that one. Okay, so there's just a bunch of these graphic styles in here. Does that make sense? Yeah? Somebody? Anybody?
Yes.
Okay, so let's look at this. Let's put my new word down again. Go back to graphic styles. And I would do this just like we do, because I'm going to give you a set. Just like we did our brushes. I'm going to go over here, open graphic style library, other library. And then you would go to the one I'm going to give you. That's going to be an Illustrator file. So it's a lot like the brush. Actually, it's just like the brushes. Yeah, whatever. So I already loaded them. They're here. You see them here? So the one I'm giving you is, it might come in handy for what you're doing. And there's another one I'm thinking about buying. If I buy it, I'll give you that one too. Next week, I want to show you how to make these. Yeah. Because I don't want you relying on just your own thing or their thing. So I'm giving you, shit, where did I put it? Oh, here it is. I think it's this one, which is vector tone, okay? Which is a lot of this, look. A lot of these sort of half-tone screens, sort of retro stuff. Does that make sense? That one's cool. So does that make sense what these are? Look, that's a cool one. Yeah?
Yeah, it does.
This, you know what this one reminds me of? I don't know if you guys know those old, the old composition sketchbooks had that sort of pattern on the front. You guys know what I'm
Oh
talking
yeah.
about? So it's exactly what it says. It's a style that you turn into a, you know, a graphic style thing, and then you can just instantly apply it. Okay. So it could be drop shadows, edges popping forward, a lot of different stuff like that, which comes in really handy, especially when you come up with something you like and go, that's something that I'll probably like these. I'd use these across a lot of different things, right? Because I can, let's see, I can probably put them in here. Yeah. So I can apply them to shapes. I can do whatever, you know, I can apply them to anything.
And how is it different from, say, a pattern? Because can you do the same thing with a pattern with the
You
text?
could do this kind of thing with a pattern, but it, look, let me show you something. Because I might buy this one. If I do, I'll send it to you guys. Here's the difference. These are mostly sort of a pattern idea. I get it, but like this one, it's not applying a pattern. It's applying this, see this edge?
Mm. Yeah.
It's applying that. So the difference between this and a pattern is that you could apply a bunch of different graphic styles to something, not just a pattern,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
This one has, because I might buy this one. That's applying that same edge idea to this. This one has a little bit of a pattern in it. This kind of thing. And what we always want to do, some halftone drop shadows. You know, this one roughs it up. So it's not just patterns. It can be a lot of different things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Which it comes in really handy. Like if I was doing, you know, something with that retro type, I might make 2 or 3 graphic styles. And then within that thing, then when I go, okay, I need type here, I can just go bing, it applies it. Then I'm gonna have the same kind of type down here, bing. I'm doing this idea over here, bing, and I just keep hitting them. So I don't have to keep rebuilding that every time. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Which I used to do all the time. I made everything by hand because I didn't know about graphic styles. I could have just made a graphic style and cut 3 hours off my my build style or my build time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which means I get to build less, which kind of sucks actually. So I want to build more.
Is that a smoothie?
No, it's a Diet Coke.
Oh.
But I just had a protein drink.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get my numbers evened out because I told you guys I felt like crap last time, right? And I'm still not quite back to normal, but I'm
Oh.
late at it a little bit. But I want to get my numbers. I just got to get back to taking care of this stuff. And I want to get my numbers leveled off before I go get my numbers done at the doctor. Because otherwise, they're going to be like, oh my God, make a big deal out of it. And I'm feeling better. I'm just not 100%. That's the health report for the day, Josh. That's my old man health report for the day. Okay, so those are graphic styles, okay? And we'll talk a little more about those next week. Because again, I want to start deep diving into a little more process now. Because you guys, I think, have gone through most of all these over here, most of these, a lot of this stuff. So what I'll do now is I'll go through anything major that I haven't covered, and then I'll start covering more process. Okay.
Yeah.
And again, I don't want, when you're doing graphic styles, a lot of times they go, here's graphic styles. It's like, well, that's cool, but you got to know how to make your own. You don't want to just go buy packs all the time, because you want to be able, you want to be able to make it very, the packs are great. Like that one looks like a kind of one I could use for a few different things. But a lot of times you just want to make them based on the job you're working on, right? Plus, I want to have creative control of my stuff. I don't want to do, what a lot of people do, where they go buy some hot shit concept designers brushes and all this stuff, and it's like, that's not going to make you paint like that person. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And you should be making custom brushes based on what the project is, I think. And some of them are good general brushes. I mean, I buy some there, and some of them are great. All right, so I'm going through this stuff. Everybody understands that graphic style thing, right? It falls into the sort of the way you load it. It's just like brushes, but it also reminds me of symbols a little bit, even though it's different. You know what I mean? But the way it works is sort of similar. Okay. Kayla, we didn't get to go through yours last time. Yeah.
Just mostly a rough, but yeah, I've been already started putting shapes.
Well, last time it looked really good. I mean, your ideas and the drawings look really good.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, so I'm going through Victor's. Better. You worked on the brain, yeah?
Yes.
Okay, better.
Yeah, just got rid of the head. Didn't need it.
Yeah, I don't think you needed it. Right?
Yeah. I'm just working on space.
How'd you do this line here?
Do you recall the overlay on the brain? I just put it in the back and extended it.
Oh, I like that. Now give me some really nice little infographic-y things here, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I need to work on that card.
And look at a lot of them. There's a lot of really great yeah, you got that embedded in there now. Another thing I might do, let's try this. You've got this on like, this has got like overlays on it or something, right?
I think they're regular.
Or are they? Okay, good.
Yeah.
I might, and I don't know if this will work or not. Is it locked?
Oh, I went
Oh,
with
it is
the masks thing.
Okay, so
Just
if I make this a darker value, let's say, and I don't know if this will work. And I'm just going to make a dark value. I'm not worried about the color. Maybe not. I don't know. Let's see. Well, it has a dark value around it, so that actually might do it. Hang on. Yeah, let's just do it like this. Wait a minute. Well, you got a cover on it, huh?
Yeah, took your suggestion from the last project. Just
Yeah, that's good. Damn it. Hang on. Number one, these are grouped. I want to ungroup all this stuff. And I'm going to make this probably a little too big, but that's okay. And if you do it right, you can get a little bit of a glow effect. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You don't want to wipe out the black, right?
Yeah.
I wiped it out because I did it fast. But it's that same thing where it's like it's a little brighter and hotter on the screen, then it drifts off a little, right?
Mhm.
And I might even be able to find for the screen. Let's see. I don't know if this will work. There's a couple things. I might go here and see if I can find an overlay that lets the color burn through it. I might just make the screen a little. I still haven't been able to find a way to burn through these real fast. That's not too bad. That's a little better. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Or, so that's, I don't know what that's on. That's on overlay. So it still lets the black show because I think you need that. You don't want to completely obliterate the idea of the phone. It's black. And if I can't find one in here, the other one I think worked fine. And I might just come in here and knock it down a little bit, that kind of thing. Yeah. Or I could even do this where I just made a, let's try this. Now it's just a line. I'm going to fatten up the line a little bit and go back to blur again. And that's a little more subtle. Let's go a little fatter on the line. Oops. That probably worked better. Yeah. And remember, if I want to go back and adjust that blur, let's see what it does here. So it can go here, but I can go to the appearance panel. And here it is, Gaussian blur. And I can select it and I can play with it some more. So if you want to go back to an effect you already applied, go to the appearance panel and just click it on in there. And then you can go back to it, because if you go back to the filter, it's going to usually wipe it back to 0, or it's, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's not going to just give me the control again and go, here, you want to keep playing with it. So go to appearance. Okay. Okay. Any questions?
No.
Okay, good. So it probably didn't even need this dark here. And the whole point with that dark is if I'm going to put something that's light, I got to have something dark, right? Hey, Josh, I don't have anything from you.
No, I haven't made any like major changes to mine.
When we're going through these project things, it's fine. I want you checking in and out on where you're at, right?
Okay.
So if you don't have a question, that's fine. Okay. Well, okay, these are starting to work. Where you at?
I'm here.
Oh, wait a minute. I got to get a screen grab here. Oh, wait a minute. I'm just going to do it. This class is so small. I just do it live. All right, where is it? So Josh is here, Kayla's here, Victor's here, Ray's here, Emily's here. Is Ryan here?
It
Yeah, I'm
says
here.
It's
Okay. It's not showing me names for some reason. Oh, I should just looked on that. Okay, there's that. Okay, good. That's done. There. Okay, where's who is this? This is Emily. Emily,
Yes.
what do you think?
I think it's slowly getting there.
Yeah,
I'm
that's good.
not completely satisfied with it yet, but I think I'm just gonna keep working on it to see how I can tweak things. I also needed to figure out the layout of the rest of the information just so it looks clean and not cluttered. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna be working on that next.
that's good. That's a good point. So I might soften those lines up. See that?
Mhm.
And I also might, so they don't feel like cracks, I might go, let's go a little bigger and see what happens. Oops. I don't know why it does that. Hang on, I want to ungroup these
Okay.
because I think that's why it's having trouble.
Mhm.
It's been getting nothing but calls and emails all day. Yeah, now it gave me my, see, it wouldn't give me my stroke for some reason.
Mhm.
So I could go a little fatter if I needed to, or a little thinner,
Mhm.
or I might just make that a shape so I can really manipulate it.
Mhm.
Or I could go, if I want to turn this into a shape, I go up here to object path to our path tools and go outline stroke. And now I could kind of, oops. You know, and I can manipulate this a little more if I want to,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
Because this probably ought to be a little softer line. Now you got to be careful there. What I always look at for this kind of thing is I go, does it go soft and then it goes to a darker thing with a little harder edge? And if it does, then I might try and get that, right?
Mhm.
And if it doesn't need to, that's fine. Because what you got to be careful of when you use like the blur tool for this is that everything doesn't start to look like an airbrush painting, right?
Yeah.
But as long as you're just using it where you need it, like here, this is a good example where I might go, because I want to get a variety. I want to give it some style. Where's my brushes? Like I might break up that edge like that
Mhm.
and then put a clippy mask over this part of it so this isn't here and just let this part live. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's another way I can get a nice soft edge, right?
Okay.
But make sure that you, you know, I would start with this shape probably. Actually, this shape would be fine. So I could just go up here. There. Boom. So now we're getting a variety of edges. Yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
Do you have any questions?
No, I think that's it so far. I'll probably have more next time when I start working on the other parts.
Yeah. Also, make sure you make a big statement up here with the type.
Okay.
And I don't mean it has to be gigantic, just a really nice. So far, it's fine. I mean, it doesn't look terrible, but I think this should be much bigger. And it depends on how much room you have. Like, just make sure that makes enough of a statement. Yeah.
Mhm.
By the way,
Okay.
did I ask you guys this last time? Does anybody have master class?
Yeah, you brought it up last time.
Okay, I think I said this too, but if you do, or if you know anybody does, go watch the David Carson. It just popped up. David Carson was this guy who really sort of really took a different approach to graphic design, especially he made a big impact in the 90s. He still is. He's over at Pentagram, so he's a big deal. But he was the guy who started doing all that totally distorted type, distressed type, sort of collagey looking things, and really pushed it into a much more artistic point of view. Does that make sense? And it's interesting to hear his point of view. And he does like a class on there where he's literally doing it with, students, like a class. And it's really interesting to see how he approaches it. Yeah. Much more artistic, much more personal, and I think he's having them do these pieces. And then he's just going, okay, who's this person? You know what I mean? Like this, from this image, are they outgoing? Are they confident? What are they saying here? And they don't know who's done what or whatever. So they're just 100% going by that. It's just the first thing I've seen on it. And that's only like in the first or second one. But I thought it was a really interesting approach. You know what I mean? Because I think people tend to maybe separate the sort of idea of artistic or even fine art thinking or whatever when it comes to design and when it comes, especially to graphic design. Does that make sense? And you should take a look at his work. It's interesting work.
For a masterclass, is that monthly or is that per class?
I think you could, I don't know. Me and Frank did it because Frank found it when the pandemic started. He goes, hey, I'm going to get this, but they'll do 2 for 1. So we can just split it. Right. And there was already a deal. It was like $90. So it was $45 each. So we just did it. I think they just rebilled me, which kind of sucks because I didn't know about it. But then David Carson came up and I go, okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then there's a few other people in there that are really interesting. And what I'm really into right now, probably a lot of people are, and it happened because of the pandemic. And I might have said this, I don't think so though. I've really gotten my head into and a lot of it got sparked because of YouTube, because normally I won't watch anything long form on YouTube because I'm not going to watch a long form thing on my phone or on my computer, right? But because I've been sitting here stuck in the house half the time like everybody, I started going down that rabbit hole because it's on the TV. And I started just looking at a ton of other artists' point of view, lectures, tutorials, whatever, and just sometimes it's just somebody talking and going and just getting a different point of view. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then sometimes you go, it's kind of nice because I never do that. And then I'll hear people and I go, oh, that's what I always say. Oh, that's what I always say. And that's somebody I respect. You know what I mean? Or sometimes it's a totally different point of view. And I go, oh, I never thought of it that way. That's kind of interesting, And I like it, especially if it like changes my mind.
Right.
Like if it changes my point of view where I go, wow, I've been thinking about that wrong. I think that's actually an interesting point of view, blah, blah, blah. Right. And it really, I just had somebody pop up on there yesterday because we've been talking about, I don't know why it popped up actually, but it was a guy who was doing an interesting thing with the mixer brush in Photoshop. And I'm like, holy crap, that's a really cool technique. Cause I mean, you can't ever learn all this stuff. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And somebody else has some other, and that was a really interesting technique he did. And I was like, man, I've thought about combining it with channel selections and all that stuff, but this guy kind of took it to a different level. And I go, that is really useful. You know what I mean? So I'm going to look at it this weekend and kind of reverse engineer it. I don't like to teach anything unless I actually know how it works.
Yeah.
But I'll give them the video because, it's all there. But I want to be able to answer questions. I don't want them to go, hey, well, this happened. How come I did that? I want to know why. I can't teach it if I don't know how. Right. Mm-hmm. So I need a weekend to kind of go over it. And just like some of this stuff, you guys are kind of ahead a little bit. So now I'm going, okay, where can I dive into now that I haven't been able to maybe in this class before? And that probably is going to be a little more processy stuff. Does that make sense? Okay. I love this edge that these gouache brushes get, by the way. You see that? Yeah? Mm-hmm. I love that stuff. I guess Josh doesn't have anything. He thinks he's all that. I guess that's what's happening there. Oops. Okay, I got a, ooh, that looks cool. I got both. I got a JPEG and
yeah, one of them is just the color comp and the actual file.
What's this line right here represent? Is that the path or the trail or whatever?
Yeah, the trail.
Okay, so it's hard for me to comment on it yet. I mean, I think it looks good, but it's hard for me to comment on it yet because I want to see how you're going to handle like the information and the transitions. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
Get that hand a little less stiff. This one,
Mhm.
right? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that. Because he's going to have a stick right here, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. That might be fine. And this was what, hiking tips, that kind of thing?
Yeah.
What's a backpack represent?
Like Pack Smart. That's going to be like the first point, and then it goes into like
You know what you,
Bringing a
you know what
map.
you should make it?
nutrition. What is it?
You know what'd be fun to do with this?
Hmm.
Plein air painting tips.
Oh,
If you ever
Yeah.
plein air paint, because it's like people,
Uh-huh.
it's really actually important because you gotta really just take what you need and not what you don't need. You know what I mean?
hmm
Don't be like me where I've got a whole car full of crap to paint with, which is kind of stupid. You know what I mean? And also, if you're doing that, I always have this tendency to go, or I used to anyway, where I'd act like I was always going to be backpacking into the wilds of Alaska to paint or something. It's like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? It's like you
Mhm.
can have a reasonably big backpack for this. You're not going more than a mile from the car. It's not that, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And then there's the kind of thing you would do if you're going, straight up backpacking into the whatever, the wilderness or whatever. Okay, any questions?
No, not right now. Pretty
Okay.
good.
Hey, is Nickelodeon still in the same building over in Burbank?
I thought it was Glendale, but either one of
Or
them.
Glendale? Is it on, what's the street it's on?
I don't know. I don't know.
Really?
Well,
How'd you get there?
it's all virtual.
Oh, that's
They're
right.
not in the studio.
Oh, that's right.
Did you forget we're living in a pandemic, Mike?
Yes. Yeah, because in my mind, it's like, can we get on with it already? You know what I mean? Are civilized people not vaccinated by now? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So Ray, you're still working it out on Procreate, yeah?
Yeah, I'm filling in the sides now with the ingredients.
Okay. All right. So you're just
Uh,
working it out, right?
yeah.
And then you're gonna bring it into Illustrator and build it, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are the proportions right for like the bottles that I have on the sides? I feel like they're a little small.
Is that these here?
Yeah.
Am I
just
looking
that
at
I'm using like a top-down version.
top view? Okay. And what's in this bottle?
White wine.
Okay, and this is cider vinegar. Is that it?
Mhm. Yeah.
I think this one, I don't know. I think they're probably fine.
Okay.
Now, the good thing is when you get them into Illustrator, once you group them or whatever, you can change the size all you want.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're too small. And the reason is, I mean, from an informational perspective, it's a bottle.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? It's not a complex object that I might not know what it is. Like once I know it's a bottle, I'm fine. Right.
Okay. Yeah.
So I don't think it needs to be over described. And I also think depending on what's going to go around it, it feels like it's filling up the space. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. You got any questions?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me unshare my screen. All right. Any questions in general on any of this stuff? We all know what we're doing. Well, probably, I'm guessing we'll be pretty close by next Wednesday. Yeah. That's kind of where I figure. Again, I like to give you guys enough room, so I'll see where we are on Wednesday. And if we need a day, that's fine. But I'm going to kind of shoot for that target. Yeah.
Okay.
What else? I'm going to put up this graphic styles pack. I would look at the PDF that comes with it. They come with really good PDFs with like, hey, it has this and it does this, and here's how to load it. But it's the process of loading it's the same as your brushes. I just like it's weird because I looked up something about it, and somebody was talking about loading them, and it was like this big, long, stupid process. And I'm like, all you got to do is just go tell it to open the stupid library. It's not this big process. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And if I think you guys are noticing most things in Illustrator are pretty straightforward. Yeah. They're pretty straightforward. Like every tool you learn, it's like, here's how this tool works, takes 5 minutes to figure it out or to talk about it. And then it's, and then again, you can do other things with it, which is what I want to start talking about next week. Yeah.
Cool.
Josh,
Sounds good.
you're all good with where you are?
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Anything good going on in Norwalk? Okay, guys, I'll let you go. If you need to hit me up during the week or from here to Monday, hit me up. And then we'll just take a look at where we're at on Monday and go over some new stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
Cool.
Hey, you guys. I'll see you Monday.
Ready.
Thanks,
Thank
Mike.
you.
Bye.
Thanks, you guys.